All right, everybody, I'm going to share with you how to make an origami box out of greeting cards. And so before you get started, I want you to just double check that you have a card that fits the following criteria. So first things first, it should be a two-paneled greeting card. Okay, so the front and the back are the same size. There's no additional materials on it. This one just happens to be Christmas themed. It can be any type of greeting card though. So this will work perfectly. Things that will not work are cards that have additional materials attached. So this has a cat hologram on it. This will not work for what we're doing. This one will not work for what we're doing. It's only one panel, so we don't have a second panel. And then this greeting card, the top is a different size from the back. Okay, so that will not work either. So the goal is to rule those cards out first, and then you can immediately get started with creating your origami box. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a scissor and I'm gonna slit just down the fold line. So where the top panel meets the back panel, I'll go ahead and cut it apart. Like so. I always start with the lid first, okay? And so the first thing that I ask myself is that, put this aside. First thing I ask myself is which section, if I turn it into a square, will make a more interesting looking box? Is it going to be the top section or the bottom section? So the bottom section, I just have Santa's feet here. If I do the top section, I might get part of his face, so I'm gonna try the top section. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this corner here and pull it to this corner here and line it up. So it will essentially make a gigantic triangle with a little bit of extra at the bottom. Okay, so I'm pulling this corner here to this side here, okay, and lining it up. So see how this is making a triangle shape right like that? Before I smush it down, I just wanna make sure that it lines up exactly, okay? So remember, with origami, it's all about matching things and folding things and getting things as exact as possible. So I always kind of line it up and gently press it before I come back and crease it with the back hand of my scissor. All right, so that lines up like so. Okay, and I'm gonna trim off this extra right here. So I'm just gonna use my scissor and cut right along here. And then I have a perfect square to get us started. So right now it's a triangle, but if I open it up, I have a perfect square that looks like that. Okay, what I'm going to do at this point is I want the outside of my box to be Santa, essentially. So I'm gonna flip this over to the inside. And what I'm going to do is start to create a series of folds, okay? And again, with origami, we want things to line up. We want them to be as precise as possible, and we want to crease them. So I'm gonna bring both corners into the middle. I want the corners to meet in the middle, and I also want them to meet here. I'll show you what I mean. Zoom y'all in, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna pull these corners toward the center. Okay, like so. See how it lines up right here? Okay, and see how it lines up right along here. Okay, if it doesn't line up, see if you can pull it a little bit further so that it does so. Once you have it lined up like this, I want you to use your finger and just press it down to pre-crease it. Okay, like that. And then what you can go ahead and do is once it's pre-creased and it lines up, you can go ahead and take the back hand of your scissor and crease it completely firmly down. Okay, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing with the bottom section. I'm just gonna rotate it because it's easier for me. And I'm gonna bring both of these in. Sometimes you kind of have to mess with it a little bit if it's not going exactly right. But I'm pulling both these corners down to meet here. Right now, this is kind of a little bit wonky, so I'm going to just do the best I can to press it. I'm gonna pre-press it here, get it to line up as best you can. So right now it lines up here, and along this edge. I'll pre-crease it, and then use the back hand of my scissor to crease it, like so, okay? I'm gonna take an extra moment just to allow you all some time to catch up, and I'll just do extra creases around here with my scissor, couldn't hurt. Okay, so I have something that kind of looks like an envelope. Okay, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to open out all of my little triangles here. Okay, and I'm going to take a pencil just very briefly, And I'm going to go ahead and trace. See, I'm on the inside of my cards. This is perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and trace this box here that is on the fold line. This will help me just line up the points of my triangles to get a really good fit for my box, okay? So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this point to the center, or this outer line here, I guess. Okay, so see how that lines up right along there. The point matches right here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and pre-crease it. I'll come back and crease it in a moment. I'll rotate, bring the point to this line. Okay, make it meet, right like that. Pre-crease, rotate, do the same thing. And then go ahead and do the same thing here. Okay, now before I do anything else, I'm gonna take the backhand of my scissor and let me go ahead, and since I have that point lined up with the line, I'm gonna go ahead and just crease it so I know that I've got it. Okay, I think I did all of those. All right, now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, now that I have these points just up to the center line, I'm gonna fold it over. Okay, so I'm just folding it up. So my line here is buried, okay? And then I'm gonna fold it over one more time, like so. And I'm gonna crease it, okay? If you missed that, I'll do it again, all right? So then I'll undo it, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and fold it just up to that line where I already creased it. I'm gonna fold it over again. And at some point, you'll meet that center line. Okay, if you missed it, I'll do it again. Unfold it. All right, so watch me carefully. So I'm gonna bring the point to the line. I already did that, I already creased it. I'm gonna fold it up on that line, and then I'm gonna fold it over once more and crease. Okay, last time. I'm gonna fold this up just to the line.